axis. So our load is in this direction. Our load is in this direction. Then load is in this direction. Load is in this direction. Load is in this direction. So this is short. The length is short here. So this is a column and this is a strut. Okay. So sometimes we use a word which is known as post. It is used when the for a wooden column. For a wooden column. If it is made up of wood, then we call it as post. We also use a word that is tension. S-T-A-N. Tension. So tension is a steel column. It is a steel column. And we also use a word which is known as pillar. Pillar is basically a use for massive, which is very long, massive dimension, column, like we use in temples. Okay. Then we also use a word pier. P-I-E-R. So it is a column structure. Column structure which is provided to support the bridge. Provided to support the bridge. So it is like this. This we have the river and there is a bridge on this river. This is bridge. And this is the river. So you must have seen the support in the river like this, isn't it? So these are the pier or pier. Okay. So the for designing a column, so behavior of column, we because dimension is important, so we say behavior of column. Behavior of a column. So first thing is which is depend material. It is whether it is made up of wood or it is made up of steel or it is made up of concrete. Okay? Then second term we use is the slenderness. So this we will understand what is slenderness. Slender. And the third term which we use is the end support. So these are the three important things before we proceed further. So As far as the material is concerned, it is made up of wood, steel, or concrete. That is steel and cement. So, a wooden column is weak, a steel column is further stronger, and uh, as compared to the concrete. So steel columns are very strong and they can take more load. Okay. So depending upon the application, we can choose any of the material. Now, what is slenderness? What is slenderness? Slenderness. How we define the slenderness? It is known as the thinness of a section. Slenderness is the thinness, thin, thinness of a column. How thin it is. Okay. So if we draw, say, the short figures, so say a short block is like this, and it is like this. So if you apply the load here, so it is a short column, okay? Or the dimension can be like this. The dimension can be like this. So in this case, the load will be here. And similarly, suppose it is a circular one and the smaller in height. Okay, so it will be like this. The load will be here, and or it is a I beam. So you can make it like this. So the load will be. So this is all. These are the short blocks, and when we apply this load, they will be crushed. So on application of load, on application of load, block will fail by crushing. So they will be crushed to the smaller size. Okay. Now, if the column is long and slender, long and slender, what does it mean? Slender. So long and slender means, suppose the length is very large and this thickness is small. And if you fix this and if you apply the load along the axis P, so it will be bent like this. So it will fail like this. So this is buckling. This is buckling. Okay. So we call as the slenderness means which shows the thinness of the material. Okay. Now there is a difference between a term called buckling and bending. There is a difference between buckling and bending. Okay. So when a beam which is supported here and you apply the load which is perpendicular to this neutral axis or the, so what will happen? It will bend. So this is bending. While in case of the buckling, it will be in the vertical direction like this. Here this cross section is thin, but here the cross section is not thin. Cross section is not thin. So if the thin member is there, it will fail by buckling. If it is having a appreciable cross section, then it will fail by bending. So you see the now difference between the buckling and bending. So we normally ask write the difference between buckling and bending. So if we say here buckling and if we say here bending, so can we jot down some point? So buckling is a deviation from the center line. Deviation from central line. Okay? Deviation from the central line from its original position. From its original position. And bending is a term. It is known as a deviation of the central line and deviation from column central line. Column central line. And bending is a term which is used the deviation of beam central line. Deviation of center line of beam with respect to original position. Right. Now, buckling, second point difference is the buckling caused by the load which is parallel or in line with the longitudinal axis, which is parallel or in line with longitudinal axis. And here the bending is caused by the load in the lateral direction. Bending is caused due to lateral load. Okay. So third point, which is very important, is the we use the higher moment of inertia of section. And in the case of the beams, so maximum we use higher moment of inertia of the section with least resistance. This you will understand. Least, and here we use the maximum moment of inertia of process. Right now, then what are the end conditions which we are using? Okay, so end condition, you can we are having the end condition or end supports. And supports or so first of all, we have to understand a column will look like this. It's a vertical member as we have seen. It is a vertical member and one side may be fixed or free. So this is a load. The load will be in the direction of the axis. Okay. So this is the end which in this case is fixed and this is free end. So we have the four condition. Number one is the both ends are, so this is one end, this is second end. So first condition is both the ends are hinged or pinned. Okay. Both and hinged or pinned. So hinge and pin you have understood in the case of the beam. So in this case, we will represent this. Suppose this is a vertical direction of the initial position of the column. So when you apply the load, So this is P. So this distance is L is the length of the column. E is the applied load. E is the applied load. And L is the length of column. And LE, we define a term which is the equivalent length. Equivalent length. And this will vary in the different end conditions. So first condition we have taken both ends are hinged or pinned. So in this case, LE is taken as equal to the length of pipe. So this is important. So this is the first end condition. Second is one end free and another end hinged. Okay, one end free and another end hinged. So in this case, we say one end free, other hinged or pinned. Hinged or pinned. So this is the second condition. So in this case, uh, we take it like this: one end free and another end hinged. So it is like this. Uh, it is like this. Uh, just a minute. Let me draw it again. One end is free and another end is hinged. Just a minute. So here we take both the ends are uh, this one. Here we will make it slightly different. One end free and another. One end free and so this is the axis. So one end free. So at the free end, it is like this, and another end is hinged. So we have taken a free and this is hinged or pinned. So when we apply the load, P, okay, so um, it will be buckling like this. Okay. So this is the length of the column L, and this length is the equivalent length, LE. Okay, and P is applied load. So P is applied load, LE is the equivalent length, and L is the length of column. L is the length of the column. So we will find out this length when we have the derivation. Okay, column fixed at both ends, column at both ends. Then third is a column and one end is fixed. Okay. The third condition of the support is when the both ends are fixed. Both ends are fixed. When both the ends are fixed, so it is like this. This is our axis. So both the ends are fixed. This is also fixed. This is also fixed. So in this case, the column will bend like this. Okay. So this is P and this is P. This is L, that is length of the column, and this one is the equivalent length. Okay. So this is the third condition, and the fourth condition is one end is fixed and another is free. Okay. One end is fixed and another is free. So in that case, the column one end other. So this is a fixed end, another is free. So the column will bend like this. In this case, it is L, length of the column, and the imaginary side will be this. So this side also it will be L, and this will be the LD. Okay, so this is taken as a equivalent length. So this way we have the four end conditions, and you know now what is the equivalent length and what is the length of the column and what are the conditions. Now next is what is the slenderness ratio. Slenderness ratio. Slenderness ratio. It is denoted by a delta. This is equal to ratio of effective height of the column, effective effective height of the column or effective length of the column, you can say. Effective length or equivalent length of column divided by the least radius of the least radius of the. So this is the ratio which is used for finding the uh, type of the column. Okay? For deciding the type of column. Type of column. And it is a very important parameter which is used in deciding the buckling rate. Buckling. Okay. So what are the different shapes of the columns we use? Shape, shape of column. Okay. So we use a box shape. First one is this. So it is a box shape. We can have a column which is in the shape of a pipe. So hollow pipe. Hollow pipe. We can have H shape. H shape. We can have a square or we can have a round. So these are the common shapes which are used. Okay. So here we say if lambda is more, then the buckling is more. Okay. Buckling is more. जितना slenderness ratio ज़्यादा होगा उतना buckling, it is prone to buckling and less is its carrying capacity. Load carrying capacity उतनी इसकी कम हो जाएगी. ठीक है. So now for an ideal column, what are the things which are required? It should be straight. It should not be bent. The first requirement is it should be straight. The material should be homogeneous. Material should be homogeneous, right? Third is it should be free from manufacturing defects or flaws, manufacturing defects or laws right? Uh, the loading should be perfectly axial. Loading should be perfectly axial, and it should fail by crushing. That means the buckling should be minimum. तो क्रशिंग वाली फिनोमेना मैंने यहाँ बताई थी आपको शॉर्ट ब्लॉक्स में. तो दिस विल फेल बाय क्रशिंग इफ यू कंप्रेस दिस फ्रॉम द बोथ साइड. तो इसकी जो थिकनेस है वो कम हो जाएगी. ठीक है. तो क्रशिंग मीन्स यू आर गोइंग, सपोज ये आपका, सपोज दिस इज ए material, and if you apply the load on both sides, so it will take this shape. Okay. So normally it should reduce to the point. Okay. So that is crushing. But if it is thinner one, patla hai, and the axial the loading is there, so it will fail by the buckling. So we try that it should be strong enough that it should fail only by crushing. So these are the some of the conditions which are required. Okay. Now let us understand what is the difference between crushing and buckling. So you can say crushing, and this side you can write buckling. Okay. So crushing represents the first point is it represents material failure. Material failure. ठीक है. Buckling represents geometrical failure. Geometrical, it represents geometrical failure. Right? This is the first point. Second point, full strength of the material is utilized. Full strength of material is utilized. Here the full strength of material is not utilized. Is not utilized. Number three, stress in material is equal to ultimate stress. Ultimate. Okay. Stress is equal to proportional limit. proportional limit. Fourth point is crushing is used for failure of short columns. And here buckling is used. Buckling is used for failure of long. So this is the difference between the uh, crushing and buckling. So the short columns are strongest because the material of the column is under the direct compression and only one type of compressive stress is acting. While material used for building structure are capable of sustaining the compressive stress. So that's why we call it the crushing. It should be is the best failure. Okay. Now classification of the columns. Classification of the columns. So there are three type of columns. Number one, we call as the short column. Short column. The short column uh, are those columns which fails by crushing, fails by crushing, and the slenderness ratio, that is delta, it is less than 30. It is a thumb rule. Then second type of column are the long column. So they fail by buckling, fail by buckling, and bending stress, bending stress, that is sigma B, should be uh, more than the axial stress. That is axial. Okay. And slenderness ratio is should be normally more than 80, 80 to 100. And then the third type of column are known as the intermediate intermediate column. So they fail by both buckling and crushing. Fail by buckling and crushing. Fails by buckling and crushing. And the slenderness ratio, lambda, it should be between 30 to 80. Okay. So these are the three type of uh, classification of the column. So I think we should stop here. So this is as far as the introduction part is concerned. So thank you very much. I'll put a PDF copy of this. Thank you. So